So there was a waiter that wrote on a receipt. It was at a Saltgrass Steakhouse, which I'm very familiar with that franchise. I love that franchise. Really, really good. Um, and the Washington Post did a story on it initially, right? And so
I
they
believe so.
so here's what happened before I pop the article on the screen here. Um, the Washington Post did an article on this waiter at Saltgrass Steakhouse that wrote on the receipt that supposedly the customer left and um, said, what did it say? I don't leave a tip for
It
terrorists.
says we don't tip terrorists.
We don't tip terrorists. Okay, first of all, the
Yeah,
guy
that's what
doesn't
he
look.
claims was.
He doesn't even look Middle Eastern. Okay, first of all, um, and
They claim it was because of his what he claimed that it was because of his name, but
oh, what's
well,
his
we'll
name
get into the
again?
claim in a moment. Let me see. Give me just a second to look that up. Um, Khalil Cavill.
Okay,
So
so
Khalil. Apparently, it means friend in Arabic, if that matters. Which I guess it doesn't.
the Washington Post did a story on the um the whole deal with the person supposedly writing down
A
that
whole
he
story about
doesn't.
his claim,
Yeah, they did a story
all
on
on
his
his word.
claim, saying, "Oh, we need to stop this. This person wrote, we don't tip terrorists, and therefore, we need to basically shun that person or ban them." Which Saltgrass didn't they at first they banned the person that
They did.
supposedly wrote. Okay, so they banned
They
the
did.
person. The story
Remind me to
went
come
out.
back to that though, because they did right. In the end, they
Okay.
did right by the customer, but we'll get to that.
Okay, so here's the thing about that story. It was faked. That there it is right there. The person that wrote "We don't tip terrorists" on the receipt was the waiter.
It was
Okay?
Khalil himself.
It was Khalil
Right.
himself that wrote "I don't tip" or "I don't tip terrorists" or whatever. And he did a whole video with the Washington Post saying it's not about the money, it's about talking about a an issue I care deeply about, and it shows the deep-seated hatred that America has for different ethnic groups and all. I mean, so whenever you find out that it's it was actually him that wrote it, they had to go back and retract their story, okay? And it's
Mm-hmm.
just pathetic. It's unbelievable. Um
Whole other article written about it now.
yeah.
Quite different
So,
from the first one.
yeah. So he lied about it. Saltgrass Steakhouse fired him,
Mm-hmm.
and they unbanned the person that dined there, and
Oh,
so they're
and
welcome
that's what I
back.
said. A little something in the update I wanted to add to that is I noticed they didn't just unban him from the restaurant, they invited the customer back to dine for free. They actually are giving him, complimentary meal. I don't know how many, but they know he went through something, and they're doing right by the customer. So
Yeah.
good
So,
on them for that.
but the reason that I want to bring this up, the reason we bring this up is because the whole notion of the news these days just buying into whatever is believed. It's just, oh, this person said this, it must have happened. this person wrote on it, not even thinking that, oh, this person could have just wrote on the receipt himself.
They don't
You
even
know,
think to ask that question.
it's after they published the story and did a whole segment video with him that they even decided, well, maybe we should take a look into this because you know damn well that Saltgrass Steakhouse looked more into it beyond the story.
I think they're actually the ones that caught him. I'm guessing they just matched the handwriting on the receipt to, his handwriting. But I don't know how exactly they caught him, but yeah, it was Saltgrass that originally noticed, and
Okay. Cog Whistle, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Um,
awesome.
let's see. So that covers basically that story. Is the whole. I don't like people deciding, oh, okay, we're just going to publish this story because let's buy into what this person said and be done with it. And that must
Do
have
you know
been
what
it.
bothers me the most? What bothers me the most about things like that, publishing stories that they don't verify and stories like this getting out in the world is now I think, and this is partially opinion, but I think it's backed up by some evidence. Um, I think that our country is in better shape in a lot of ways than it has been in a very long time. I don't think that racism is as rampant as it was. I mean, living where I do, which I'll keep that to myself for now, but living where I do, if it was the 1960s, for example, believe me, I'd see a lot more racism, across the street and down the block. But there are still examples of it. There are still those rare occasions of actual racism, actual assault or discrimination or anything based on it. But how seriously are people going to take it when they hear it on the news now? Because we've already heard about, well, yeah, that's probably like the guy who wrote on his own check or, wrote on his own tip. People just
Yeah.
won't listen as much when you've just this deluge of fake news. It's an accurate term, whether people like it or not.
You're fake
But they're
news.
so
Get
used
him
to
out of
that they
here.
don't listen to the real news. Right.
Oh my god. Well,
But yeah,
um,
that's where that one landed.
since we're in the whole restaurant deal, and this happened in Odessa, Texas, we'll talk about the Whataburger incident. With
Working on a
the
theme here, are we?
yeah, that wore the wonderful hat that decided to
All right.
Supporting the president. You ain't supporting shit, nigga. Bitch ass motherfucker.
That's charming.
Okay.
It's gonna go great in my fucking fireplace, bitch.
Alright, have fun with it.
So that was what's his name? Jimenez.
Kino Jimenez looks like
Jimenez.
in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. So all this shit's going down in San Antonio. Well, he's no longer employed by his employer. Um, and he was charged with let's see, with robbery and assault, and
Mm-hmm.
faces a minimum sentence of 180 days in jail, a maximum sentence of 2 years. So I really hope that that was worth it. Um,
Well, he made his point.
there were so many people that came out and said, I want to see what Whataburger has to say about this. Why? It just happened in their restaurant. You think that they would actually support something like this? They don't. And they wrote that we were shocked to see this video and certainly don't condone this type of customer behavior. Um, I
That's
feel like
really all
any,
they can say, though.
yeah, I feel
He
like
didn't work
any,
for Whataburger.
well, even if he did, I feel like why would Whataburger have to come out with a statement and say, well, yeah, we totally support what that person did? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. So that was a whole big deal between Whataburger and the people tweeting that they were outraged that Whataburger had nothing to say about this. I mean, justice was done. This guy was fired. He's been charged with an assault and stolen property. The kid was only wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat. So, yeah, Justin says businesses always have to apologize and give statements. I guess. That's the world we live in. Is that they have to
Well,
sit
if
there
they
and
don't,
say, um,
people make assumptions if they don't. And, well,
yeah, they shouldn't have
this
to
guy,
say anything. What a
this guy clearly
scumbag!
thought he was in the right. No, I agree, but I mean, he thought he was acting correctly. He thought that, basically you hurt my feelings by wearing that, which is already assault. Therefore, this is defense.
Bojangle followed, and then he said he stole a fucking hat. Who cares? Well, he stole a hat, threw the guy's own coke on him.
A large Coke full of ice in the
Yeah,
face.
yeah,
That
just right
might
in
be
his
where the
face.
assault thing gets a little more serious.
So,
Um, I have heard also that when he ripped the hat off the kid's head, that he also took some hair with it. Don't know how much, but that sounds kind of painful.
yeah. Um, in any case, the person was. It wasn't because a lot of people were thinking that this was staged, but he just so happened to be recording it because the guy was already screaming nasty things to him to begin with in the store or in the restaurant.
Yeah,
So,
when the guy got in his face, he started filming, and then we get to see the major confrontation.
well, I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth his job and him getting charged with a aggravated assault and theft. And so hope that was all worth it. The hatred, the outrage for our president um, is incredible. So
Now, I feel like I should mention this. This is my understanding. I would have to really do some research to verify it, but it's my understanding that these kids didn't post the video trying to get the guy fired or anything. It was more hey, internet friends, can you believe what just happened to us? And so they put the video up. But word got around, and his employers were alerted by someone. So, they happened to see it, and I think he worked as a bartender part-time. But either way, they said that they did not condone that from their employees and let him go. So,
what an
like I say,
absolute
the kids weren't trying to get him fired. They didn't like that they got assaulted in Whataburger.
guy thinks he's such a hero by doing that. Just whatever.
Hmm.
He should have to do and I don't 2 years is a lot of time behind bars for something like this, but he should have to do so much community service. I mean, he should have to do a ton of community service for this.
Kind of youth
Ridiculous.
outreach, maybe.
Yeah. Um,
That reminds me, just a few days ago, wasn't it, that something similar happened in, I believe it was Washington, where a guy with very bright green Joker type hair snatched a MAGA hat off somebody and threw it in the street, spit on it.
well, it's happening more and more and more and more. People are just, you can't go out. You're wearing a Trump branded tie. You're wearing a hat. It doesn't matter what. Anything that says their name or that you support, even the Republican Party, which let me make clear, I'm not a Republican and I am not a Democrat. So I
Same.
cannot stand being classified in one of those areas. Just I do not like either party and what they are standing for and the people running them. So, Bojangles says that guy should be the wall. Well, he was a big guy. So. Let's see, what else do we have here? Should we take a quick break, and come back to the Guild Wars?
That sounds like a good idea.
Let's take just a real quick breather, and we'll get back
All right.
into it.